What skills do you think are key to becoming a documentary filmmaker? What advice would you give, and what to do?
Take tons of punishment constantly and live with anxiety and depression at all times of every day.
Anxiety is a skill.
I think the most useful skill that comes to my mind is being willing to really put yourself in a new place, in new conversations, and interact with people and environments that you would never otherwise. Like, be okay with the idea of, if a story calls for it, going there and talking to a person that you never would feel necessarily comfortable talking to, or think to talk to, or we get focused on geopolitical events and we take the reportage of anchors and we take political analysis. We take these things into consideration, but what we often don't do is go there and talk to people. Mm-hmm. And what I've found is that if you do that, people will talk to you. And that's the biggest, confronting that fear, I think, and being okay with, trust your prep, trust your production, trust your work, watch your back, but go, and if you can, and talk to people.
Yeah, I would add to that. I think like something that I think about a lot is, like, as a journalist, something that journalists, especially today, get a bad rap for, or just to remember. I wish I just reminded myself of this over and over. Journalism is a practice, just like any other profession, law, physician. You practice it. It's a science. You have to practice the work of being unbiased, taking your feelings out of something, being able to, in a moment, look at something very clinically, being able to hold a camera and make that person you're across sitting from you forget that you're holding a camera. It's something you really have to practice outside of what you do every day. Some people have a gift for being able, I think all of us wouldn't be up here if we didn't love talking to people. I love talking to people. It's so fun. I love getting to know people. Super fun. But when you're working and you're trying to get a specific thing out of the story, you are trying to get that person to unfold and get to that truth. Like, I thought you said it excellently. Like, our jobs are to make space for people to be as truthful and honest as possible and be their most, be the best self or whoever they are, be it in front of your camera, in front of your crew with all these lights and this, that, and the other thing. And you can get lost in that if you think it's just like, oh, it's just an interview. People who practice journalism as a profession, you've got to put yourself in situations that you think are going to be really uncomfortable for you. And every time I've done that, I've walked out on the other side of it and felt so, it makes you as a person feel better when you walk into a space where you think you're not going to be welcome or they're not going to talk to you, and they do.
Yeah.
And they give you something that you didn't thought. It's always, people are so interesting. And so it's just something I would just remind you to, it's like, remember the technical parts of what we do in this profession. It's a real job,